it was originally going to be a duplex. Is that what you said?
Correct. It's framed out to be a duplex, but it's not or wire or plumb.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. And so Eric said that you were trying to get like 175 for it.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. And any idea what the house values are on the rented ones? Do you have any idea what they might be worth?
Not a clue.
Okay. Gotcha. How did just out of curiosity, Joe, how did you arrive at the 175?
Enough money for my parents to retire off of and take it easy.
Okay. Okay. Well, we always want to have the best outcome we can. The other question here is, how much do you think the fourth house needs to be able to use that as a rent?
Probably about 80%. The framing's all done. It's oak timber or case hardened oak timber, so it's easy to go up all the way to the roof with a firewall, fire splitting. I believe there's a code to it. I don't know, but that's what it was originally planned to. But sheetrock plumbing and electricity. The framing's all there.
Okay. So
I'd say about 80.
Okay. So what do you think for that? Are we talking 20 grand, 15 grand?
And today's building material you're talking about to get it up and running?
Yes, sir.
Building prices right now, material wise, you're probably looking at probably closer to 50.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And that being said, if you were to sell the whole package, the family member would go at that point as well, or we want to try and work something out with it?
No, they would go as well.
Okay, that's fair. And the other two rentals, we could kind of work that out, or is the whole kit and caboodle hightailing it?
It's lock, stock, and barrel. It's whatever you want to do with the renters, that's up to you.
Okay, fair.
We can if you sign it, we a victim or you a victim, do the crack corn on either one or the other.
Okay. Are they good tenants? Or you think they're worth keeping?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right now they're fairly good tenants. Yeah.
Okay.
They're handled through a rental agency, not through a family member. You know how that's the same, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So you have a professional company collecting the rent and managing it.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that definitely makes things easier for you to be out of the mix there. And then 50 on that. So if we put the money into the fourth property, do you think we could get more than 500 a month for it?
Oh yeah, you could get 500 a month each side if you duplexed it easily. Yeah.
Okay. And to get to that point, would we have to get permits and zoning approval to get that done, or is it grandfathered because it's on your property?
I believe that was turned over is commercial, so I don't believe there would be a permit, and I think that's all set up as rental property. There's already 2 listed rental properties on it. I don't believe it would be too big of a deal, too big of a headache.
Right, understood. Okay, yeah, that sounds like it might not be, and that's definitely good news. And then the other side of the equation are one of the things I want to ask you, because I'm gonna assume for the sake of argument, Joe, you don't owe any money on these, so you're looking at a, you know, fairly decent capital gains hit if you don't have any basis for these rentals. So, had you thought about, doing something creative so you can take your money over time and save on capital gains?
Right now with the markets the way they are, that's really iffy.
Okay. All right. I understand you're coming from a position of knowledge and experience. You're like, you know, it's hot right now. It may not be a hot in a year when we decide to refinance you out. Right.
Right,
Okay. And,
right.
it's not out of the question, but it's not your preferable choice, correct?
No,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Rock, stock, and barrel, walk away, done.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure you have some room on the 175 number. If we can sharpen our pencils and you know, perhaps get one of our associates to come by, you know, would that be something that we could work out?
That would be something that could be worked out as long as I have plenty of time. Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Well,
arrange it.
yeah, we have no problem always giving, you know, ample notice, normally, you know, 24 or 48 hours, whatever you think is fair. I mean, we're not looking to disrupt lives. Are those two renters on a month to month and they know you're selling, or are they on a lease? They know you're selling.
It's month to month, and the property was listed a couple of years ago, and we never heard nothing from it. And I never even knew that it still was on the listing until today.
Okay. Huh. Okay. You didn't get any offers back then, huh?
A few inquiries, but it was a bad market time. I guess money dried up, and now the market's being flooded. So I guess this is the regained interest in it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a good time. And again, you know, what I'm trying to do is obviously look at, you know, return on investment. You know, what do we have to spend? You know, if we got the duplex up and running and that's bringing in 1,000 and the family moves out and that's bringing in 500, and the other two, let's just say for the easy numbers are all 500, you know, we're looking at $2,500 a month. But and that's a very good number. I would imagine the property taxes are fairly low on the property, Joe.
Yeah, actually, on the one that the family members live in, it would probably be somewhere around the neighborhood of $600 to $700. And yeah, we're in the ballpark.
Okay. You're saying that one could rent for 600 or 700?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's it's a 3 bedroom.
Oh, okay. And the other ones are two?
Correct.
Okay. And then the duplex could be what, two bedrooms on each, you know, one on each side?
Correct.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right. And yeah, because I'm just trying to look at the number. You know, 175 makes a ton of sense if they were all ready. But the fourth one needs a whole bunch of work. You hit your nail on the head with the material costs. You know, that might have cost 30 grand, you know, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago. Everything's hit 2 8% increase on all building materials off the board.
Wow. That's so just so you know, Joe, when we make an offer, we, you know, we do all cash. You know, if we can get some flexibility on the price, we can probably cover all the closing costs and, you know, obviously, just to try and, you know, get to a net number. If you didn't sell to us today, what would you do? Think about maybe relisting it again?
Yeah, in the next year or two, when I have time to put more time to it, more towards the commercial market as a turnkey business, and not so much as I don't know how it was listed before. I never seen what she put up, but I would probably push it more towards commercial because of the road going through there, the bypass, and the turnkey option of free rental houses. Poof, there it is.
Right. Now, is it currently just zone residential and you think it might be able to be changed later?
Yeah, I believe part of it is commercial, and the other part of it is residential, or it might have all changed over. I haven't been up on stuff like that, but at the time, I believe it was on all that through commercial.
Okay. Okay. Because, we'd want to look that up and verify that, that could have some bearing on it. But I think, like I said, I keep coming back to the fourth house. Is, if we put in 50 and it was rented out for 1,000, we've got quite a while to get that piece of the puzzle back.
Unless you turn around with the commercial side of it and bulldoze it, turn it into a gas station, which is pretty much what I'm seeing in the next 5 or 6 years with it anyway.
Okay. Now there's other building going on right near you, you said.
Right, they're bringing a highway up through there. The bypass to Macon is coming through there, coming right up Jefferson to the road.
Okay. Do you know when?
They're working on it now. They're clearing it. I don't know when the close is on it, but I think it was a 10 or 15 year project, and they're already 5 or 6 into it.
Okay. So this is still a good bit off then, a little bit.
Right.
Okay. Because typically we're looking to buy and hold, and then the scenario you just said, I mean, that certainly is interesting because how big is the lot again?
I want to say 3/4 of an acre.
Okay.
If you look at it on Google Maps and you look at 1842 Jeffersonville Road, then you go up 2 houses up Lynn Haven, and then there's a lot back behind it. So it goes to the edge of that lot.
Okay. All right. So you're saying with the property with the houses on it and everything is about a total of 1/4 acre, or the lot separate?
3/4.
3/4.
Maybe 3/4 of an acre.
3/4.
3/4 of an acre altogether.
Okay, 0.75. I got it. Fair enough. Okay. Well, definitely have a lot of information, and you've got a number of houses on there. Now, when I say houses, these are stick built prop, right? All 4?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, all 4 stick built.
Okay, gotcha. And can they be separately deeded, or you don't know?
I believe at one time they were separately deeded,
Uh-huh.
but from a selling standpoint of view, the way we stand with it is lock, stock, and barrel. All 4 and the lot, everything goes at once, or none of it goes.
No, I get that. No, I'm just thinking bigger picture because, like I said, the repair number and the 175 I'm just trying to figure out, what might make sense, because I know that you're I care about your outcome, and I want you and your folks to be good. But at the same time, I want it to be good, for us. So
It's America. I get it. This is the dollar.
I know, and you sound like you're very, very experienced and could teach me a thing or two. I've only been in real estate for 17 years. It sounds like you might have been in there a little bit longer, and so you could certainly teach me a thing or two, I'm sure.
I'm more on the building end of it, and what's structural and what's worth pulling and what's worth pushing down and starting over.
Right.
That's my end of it.
Right. Gotcha. Well, sounds like we're both reasonable men and we're just a couple of fellas talking about some houses. What can we do? Because I know normally when we buy based on cash flow like this, we're typically going to buy a package on a reasonably small parcel for us. Typically between say 100 and 130. And I was just trying to find out, what kind of flexibility you do have if we could get it done in say, 30 to 45 days, or if you need more time, we can be flexible. What do you think you could do?
There's no hurry. There's no hurry on my end. I have a margin of about $5,000, and that's about it.
Okay. So if we paid closing costs and everything, you could only come down to 170.
Right.
Huh. Well, gosh, we're getting along so well. I figured that we could do something. Like I said, that one house is like a fair amount of dollars.
There's also the other market of turn a termite crew loose to it because the wood is so aged and hardened out that it's good for framing floors and stuff like that. There's another end of it. They call them termite crews. They go in there, extract the old wood, and turn it into other building material. There's a high market on that too. So there's that option.
Okay, and that's based on the fact that this market has created that opportunity, right? So,
Correct.
so people are getting, and I guess you're saying they're repurposing wood. Is that what you said?
Right, repurposing wood.
Wow. Wow.
That's a high market right now. People want pristine old floors. And
Right.
there's a lot of it in there, and the oak is 2 by 4, 2 inches by 4 inches, not 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, what you get nowadays.
Oh, I see. The legit 2x4, Joe. Nice. Yeah, I like the sound of that one.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I understand that the timing, you're not, it's not urgent, but you'd
No,
like,
not at all.
you'd like to take advantage of the hot market.
Wouldn't everybody? This is America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Captain Obvious today. But well, here's what I'd like to do. I have an associate of mine that I'd like to get up with him and see if I can coordinate, according to your schedule, to do a quick pass by, peek the head in, the units or what have you, and see if we can't come up with something solid, maybe by this weekend or Monday. So what's your schedule like? If we give you a couple days notice, would we be able to get in maybe Sunday or Monday?
Sunday or Monday. Let me check my schedule and get back with you, but I don't see it being a problem.
Okay. All right, because like I said, you got a unique proposition there because of the multiple houses. What are the square footages, or what are the houses? Are they each about 600, 800 square feet?
Probably more along the lines of 1 is 6 and maybe 1 is 650.
Mm-hmm.
Or more. No, let me reframe that. 1 is maybe more like 450, and the other one's more like 6.
Okay.
The biggest one though is, like I said, it's 3 bedrooms. It's one of the original houses right next to the original houses around there. So it's probably 2,000 plus.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's the 3 bedrooms, 2,000 plus square feet in living space, but would only rent for 700. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, y'all got it a little differently there for sure. So, and what about the duplex? What would the square footage on that one be? Do you have any idea?
Each one would probably range around somewhere, probably around six each, 600 square feet each.
Okay. 600 square feet each. Okay. Because I mean, it's definitely growing on me because that's a ton of potential. For sure. So that's why I'm saying I think we should give it a look and you know, see what we can hammer out because you know, I think we can help each other. So what I'm gonna do, you're gonna get back to Eric on your timing and we can try and shoot for say, maybe we should just say let's shoot for Monday. Because it's already Friday
Okay,
tomorrow.
right.
But we can tighten it up, you know, between now and say Saturday morning. And you know, if we need to push it, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday to accommodate whoever we need to, we do that as well.
Okay.
So again, Joe, my name is Tom Black. Didn't even tell you, but I'm a full-time real estate investor, and I do stuff to buy and sell houses in multiple markets. And I'm also an associate broker with eXp Realty. You know, I'm not acting as an agent here. You know, we're looking to purchase, not put it on the market for you. But I just asked that question. That's a general purpose. So, so let's do that. You know, if you can get back to us and let us know, I'll work on my end to get someone out there and you know, come to an agreement and get something signed next week if that would work with you.
Okay. I will just let me know one way or the other.
Okay, that's
How's
done.
the capital? How's y'all capital standing? Is it just between you and another guy, or is it several of y'all?
No, it would just be one. I had, like I said, I had to just to be transparent with you, Joe. I head up acquisitions for our investment group. So what I do is I'll normally talk to an individual like you, then I coordinate with one of my local fellas, and then we contract it and close within, you know, the time frame that works for you.
Okay.
So it's pretty no muss, no fuss kind of thing. Occasionally we'll have either a contract or one of our associates come through once we contract, but you know, it's just for informational purposes. You know, we don't, you know, obviously you're not repairing anything and everything's as is, which would be in the agreement, right? Okay. All right, well, let's do that. We'll be in touch, you know, within the next day or so, and then we'll work on the next step.
Okay, you have a good evening.
All right, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care. Hello,
Hello.
is anyone here?
Yep. Yeah. I'm here.
Cool.
Hey.
Could you hear me at all?
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah. Could you hear Joe at all?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Cool deal. Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to capture a situation that could give you some of the subtle nuances of how I communicate with an owner. I probably said his name too many times, but I do try and say it a few times during the conversation, right? And then the more data, the more information that I can gather. You know, he's got 4 houses, duplexes, you know, jibble scratch, you know, whatever. You know, once you do this, then you want to put this data, this information in a CRM or what have you. But worst case scenario, if you do this, if you got on paper, listen to this. This is a ninja tip for the lazy and disorganized, okay? Take a picture of this document and save it in your phone in the event it gets lost. Then you can refer back to it. So what I'll do here is I'll put 1842 Jeffersonville Road on here. So now I know what the deal is. So this is just for you. I recommend that you have a notepad at your side at the ready to jot things down, especially if you're not recording the car. I'm sorry, can you mute out for me? There you go. So I don't know what happened there, but anyway, everybody's muted now. Hey, Josh, great to have you. Hey, Nas, Ron, Dwight. Did we find that the flow of the conversation, was it helpful on how I kind of brought him in and did some information gathering? Did you notice how I asked him if there was a mortgage? Anyone?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
What I normally say when I talk to somebody, especially if they're older, I immediately assume it's paid off. Now it's not necessarily going to be paid off, but I assume it kind of almost like out of respect and say, hey, Joe, obviously you know what you're doing in real estate, so I assume that these are paid off. Oh yeah. Oh no, I've got this amount of money still due on it. Because if there is money owed, the first thing the seller is going to want to do is correct you. Let me correct you. You have it wrong. Let me go ahead and correct you. And so, that's just one piece of the puzzle. But I went through. I already knew why he was selling, but I asked again. Eric had given me some basic information. That's one of the people in our group. He gave me some basic information on the property before I got on the phone. And then to dig in, the guy doesn't, bottom line is you have an not unmotivated seller, but not really a motivated seller. Now, if all four properties were bringing in, let's say you said 700, 1,700, and then another 900. So let's say it was bringing in $2,600 a month. It might be worth it to buy as is right now at 175, no problem. The challenge is the fourth property that could be made into a duplex. I don't even know what it looks like. The fourth property that can be made into a duplex needs 50 grand, and he knows his market and his material costs better than I do. I gave him the opportunity to agree with me on a low number. What is that going to take? About 20 or 30 grand? Oh no, and so what I did when he gave me that number of 50,000, I used it for my benefit and explaining that. I came back to him. I'm like, 50,000 and 175 are the two numbers I keep coming back to. Did that resonate with you when I did that?
It did with me.
Okay.
Understand it. I understood that. I heard that part.
Okay. And so, Ron, any feedback on anything you would have done differently, or how you thought the call went? Any feedback on that? Because I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't want to be on here long. And Ron is busy. So Nas, you have a minute?
Yeah. Yep.
Tell me how it went and anything that stood out to you that you liked, or that you said, maybe you had a question. Anything about the conversation where you're like, oh, that's great stuff, or what about this?
Yeah, so I think it was good how you basically told him your your background, how much experience you have in this field. And you even kind of mentioned, you started on that, down the road, you are going to have to get someone in there, by saying you're going to have to get, could be a contractor when, it's going to be the buyer most likely, but you already started on warming him up to that. I thought that was good. And I think you just carried the conversation well, kept him, upbeat in it. So I think by listening to Joe talk, you could tell that, as the conversation went on, he was liking the idea of getting it under contract with you more and more,
Right. Right. And so I lead people in that direction as well.
I'm here,
I'm
Tom.
huh?
I'm here.
Okay, Ron, I'll be with you in just a half sec. I just want to mention this point and then you can pop in. But when I'm having that conversation, I'm somewhere in every conversation, I want to prepare them for, I'm not the only person who's going to see it.
Yeah.
And what happens too often with too many wholesalers, number one, they don't tell them any truth at all. And then they're wondering why people are showing up. Okay. Number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, I wanted to give them the impression that I'm not in Jordan. I did, I think, without saying I'm in Maryland. And saying, one of my local associates going to put an eye on it. We're going to zip through and see what we can put together. So I set the expectation. So what you want to do is set the stage when you're talking with a seller. Vacant houses are so much easier to manage as a process because you're not dealing with tenants, you're not dealing with multiple personalities. Coordinating schedules, and that's why, that I'll let people know that I really like to put a lockbox on the property so I can get my people in here, and it's imperative that I get pictures and video, to go over everything with my investment team and make you a cash offer, and once we come to an agreement. Our funding partner and or our contractors will probably need access, and then occasionally you run into a seller, and he's not necessarily a professional landlord, and he or she's not necessarily experienced, and I'll just tell him something like, which is what I kind of let in with him. Hey, just to be transparent, I head up the acquisitions for our investment team, and I talk to folks like you and see if it's going to be something that may work out. So I'm an expert analyzing your deal, and then I'm going to bring in some more of my experts, but only one expert's going to be at the table.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to give him the impression, because he was kind of coming at me like, well, how many people are going to need to stop, you know what I mean? So I felt it kind of going off the rails for just a quick second. I brought that right back. Oh, no, boom, 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 dun, 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 come on. We're going to be fine, Joe. Don't worry about it. I do like definitely talking to folks in Georgia, the different dynamic. Josh, I don't know if you're there right now, but if you have any input, good, bad, or otherwise, on how you thought that went, I'm asking for your input.
Yeah, I think I came in a little bit late, but I think it was good. I came in, heard like what you were saying about like the team and like kind of what you were just highlighting a couple seconds ago. So I was just writing that stuff down, just like being transparent and stuff like that. I think that he resonated with that, and that kind of like kept him intrigued in the deal.
Right.
Because now it's like it's not an unknown thing. It's like you're actually using him to keep him in the loop and stuff like that. So that keeps him more engaged in the deal, probably.
Right, right. I appreciate your insight on that. That's brilliant. Must be a college grad.
Yep.
I am not. I am a beauty school dropout. No, I'm kidding. But I tried college and it upset my stomach, much like being a landlord. Neither of those things really went the way I would like, and I have been kind of itching to do my own thing for a long time, and I've been self-employed since 2004, and there's certainly a lot of stress and peaks and valleys in it, but we're having fun now. And Ron, did you want to share a little bit about how you thought it went, or what you were able to catch, and any input?
Yeah, while I was hearing you on the conversation, sellers, as you know, they do business with people who they know, like, and trust. And I think you established that in that conversation. Like Joshua said, you established that transparency, but not only that, you positioned yourself in that call. You positioned yourself in a way that you were taking control of that call no matter what, which way it went. So that position that you took and the transparency, and you keep getting trust from you. So as the conversation was going, I think he felt that he could trust you because you were being so transparent with him. And like I said, you positioned yourself in a way that you took control of the conversation.
Right. And yeah, I definitely appreciate that. You must be a father. And so the thing is that, if you look at it from a man or a dad perspective, or female, it doesn't matter, but the bonding process has to include them. So when I'm talking to a seller on the phone, I'm asking a question, but then I'm like, oh, wow, one rents for 400, one rents for 500. Is that the going rate, or is that a little low for the area? Oh yeah, that's about right. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? I need that information. People like to share their knowledge with. So I engage with that. The purpose is, he and his parents, they would have, a chunk of cash so they could move on to the next chapter. He sounded like he was in his 70s, so I guess his parents are in their hundreds. That's going to be a good outcome. I took a ton of notes on here. I think it has potential. I think that he mentioned something I didn't even think about, the termite cruise. I never heard of that term, where if you picked up on it, he was talking about termite cruise, not to be confused with the flying insect. But there are contractors and termite crews that will come into a vacant house and extract all the good wood and then repurpose it, or maybe they even take it to the sawmill and do whatever. I don't even know. I don't even want to venture a guess. But I definitely appreciate your input on that, Ron, because for me, it's a dance. And the dance is, that's, maybe it's not a dance, but for me, I want you, and I want the owner, the seller, the lead, to feel that transition. There's going to be a transition somewhere within the call, and I've talked to Nas about this and Dwight several times, but I'm telling all of you now, there's a part in the conversation when I talk to a stranger where it goes from cold to how you doing, buddy? What other information do you need? And that's very purposeful. It's by design, and it takes talent and skill to perfect it. But all of us have the innate ability to do that. I've talked to each of you individually. You have your own strengths, you have your own powers, you have your own communication skills, and all of you get the big picture. That, and I made a point to say this throughout the conversation. Well, I know where you want to be. We normally are around 130. Well, I can probably move about $5,000. Oh, okay. And then I reiterated what he said because I want to make it sound ridiculous. So you're saying that you'd be willing to take 170. Okay. And so now he's not on 175 anymore. He is on 170. And between now and the time we walk through his properties, we've got to be at like 140, 150. Because I'd like to flip it for 170. Okay. But I won't know until I reach out to some of my people nearby and say, hey, you know, what's Macon going for? Are you buying in Macon? If you were buying a property with 4 rentals on it, would it be worth 190 grand to you? You know, and like I said, that one house is the troublesome one. So thank you for your input, Joshua, Nas, Ron. Any other highlights that you wanted to hit, Dwight, before I let us go? We're gonna wrap it up in about 30 seconds.
Nope, you're good, Tom. Keep on going.
Okay. Do we all feel this was valuable and helpful?
I did.
Yeah.
You want to do this at least once a week or every other week?
Once a
Yeah,
week. would be-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
And then we have some more things coming down the pipe with leads and virtual assistants and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that soon. But did you like how even during the conversation, we're just a couple of fellas talking about some houses?
House.
I mean, that I was playing to my audience. That was for you, Joshua. That was for you, Ron. I was thinking about Nas when I said that. I'm like, Dwight White's gonna say this is right as soon as he hears it. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna check out. Thank you so much for being part of my life. I appreciate you. I appreciate your commitment and focus. And you know, I'm gonna keep pushing you to get better and get more. So you know, let's schedule a time together, you know, over the next, you know, I'm kind of crazy today and tomorrow, but if you want to get on the calendar for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'd like to at least call out to some leads with you on the line. And if you have any teed up or keyed up or are ready by then, that'd be great. So all of you have a great evening. Thank you so much. And I will upload the video in the group later.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll see you.
Thanks, Tom.
Have a good
See
one.
ya.